So I'm just going to tell you right now that some of these books are definitely going to have to self-destruct. Hi everyone, my name is Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. Today's video is going to be me reacting to my These Books Will Self-Destruct video from last year. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure you all do, a These Books Will Self-Destruct video is basically where you put a list of books, I did 10, that you have had on your shelves for a while. For whatever reason you haven't picked them up, and you give yourself a time limit of, if I have not read these within a year usually, they're going to self-destruct, they're going to have to disappear from my TBR shelves. And yeah, we've got to the year now, so I put this video up last September, so we need to react to it and see which ones have to self-destruct. Some of them I have definitely read, some of them I've already unhauled, some of them I may have to give myself a little bit of an extension for, but we'll talk about that later on. Oh, before I start reacting to it actually, different setup as you may be able to tell, but I couldn't not film in my new comfy reading chair, so I thought I would take advantage of it, and having a slightly comfier place to sit than being like perched on a step stool like I normally am in front of my bookcase. But anyway, what we're going to do now is I have my iPad here and I will load up my video from last year and we can react. I know some of the books that are on this list because I have had them kept in my TBR cart for the entire year, stared at them, never put them on any TBRs because why would I? But I can't remember, like the ones that I've actually already read, I can't remember what they actually were. So let's see, I'm very not prepared for this. Like I've not got the video loaded up at all. You can, I missed 1 week of filming videos and apparently everything goes from my head. So video is all loaded up, I have my headphones in, let's see what I am self-destructing because there are some definitely. The problem with this video is that the outcome potentially is that I unhaul a lot of books and I'm really bad at letting go of things. Hi everyone, my name's Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today. Today's video is going to be a These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months challenge, which is terrifying. Let me explain. I'm sure you guys have seen this video go around. I'm gonna skip past where I explain what the self-destruct thing is because I've already done that, so I'm just gonna like speed this bit up. But I don't like getting rid of them on the off chance, actually what if I decide I want to pick that one up? Like I've literally just decided that I want to rebuy a series where I read the first one in the series, didn't love it, didn't hate it, but didn't love it either, so I unhauled it and now suddenly I want to read all the rest of the series, which means I'm going to need to rebuy the first one as well as buying the other two. So I have issues with sort of committing to unhauling them because what if that happens again? You never know. I'm actually going to have kept that bit in, I think. I'm like reacting to this anyway, even though I said I'm going to speed it up. But I thought I'd just show you that bit because that series that I decided to rebuy, I did end up loving. It was Illumina. It's fine, but I love how I'm saying like I'm going to struggle with unhauling these because like I said, I already know that some of them I'm not going to unhaul. I'm living up to exactly what I thought I would. But anyway, I'm trying to come up with excuses as to why I won't actually unhaul these, but no, this is the video. If I don't read these books in the next 12 months, I will have to unhaul them, and you can please hold me accountable to that. So to pick these, please don't hold me accountable to that. Thank you. Books, I've kind of just gone through my TBR shelf. There's no real rhyme or reason. I've just picked up the ones that saw and thought, actually, yeah, that makes perfect sense for this video. There were more that I could have picked on there, so should probably see another one of these videos in 12 months time because I'm sure there'll be others to add to this list as well. I do already have another list planned. You'll see that in next week's video. But I've just kind of gone with the first ones that grabbed my attention. So let's talk you through what I've picked, what books are going to self-destruct in the next 12 months. That's a lot of ramble before I actually start picking the books. I'm very sorry. I hope I don't ramble quite as much anymore. You can tell how long it's been. So I've had some of these and I'm having to dust them before I show them to you. So the first book on this list is Internment by Samira Ahmed. So Samira Ahmed is an author that I have read other books from. I have read 2 books, I believe. I've read Love, Hate and Other Filters and Mad, Bad and Dangerous to Know. didn't really like either of them. Love, Hate and Other Filters was fine. It was, I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was okay, there was nothing majorly wrong with it, but just wasn't something that, I mean, I can't even tell you the story of it now off the top of my head. I just remember that it was okay. I then picked up Mad, Bad and Dangerous to Know last year. I had an arc of it and I really did not like it. I gave it 2 stars. I just found it very hard to follow along with. There was multiple timelines and it just got a little bit convoluted and I just wasn't the biggest fan of it. So I have this one on my shelf that I actually got before Mad, Bad and Dangerous to Know, and I was interested in it when I first picked it up. I've been sort of more and more disinterested in it, having read more of Samira Ahmed's writing, so I kind of need something to encourage me to read it, otherwise I know I'm never going to pick it up. So I don't really know the synopsis of a lot of these ones I'm going to tell you about today, so I'm just going to read you what it says on the back, which is: rebellions are built on hope. It's been 1 year since the census landed 17-year-old Layla Amin and her family on the registry, 5 months since the Attorney General ruled that there was precedent for relocation of citizens during times of war, and 1 month since the President declared that Muslims are now a threat to America. Now Layla and her parents are suddenly taken from their home and forced into an internment camp for Muslim American citizens. With help of the newly made friends also trapped within the internment camp, her boyfriend on the outside, in an unexpected alliance, Layla begins a journey to fight for freedom, leading a revolution against the internment camp's director and his guards. So obviously this is a kind of dystopian type book. It says it's set in a horrifying near future of United States. It's a dystopian that's very much based in actual events and sort of racism that is very prevalent in the world. It sounds really intriguing, it's just that I know I don't particularly love her writing, so hopefully this is the book that I do actually end up enjoying, and hopefully I do end up picking this up in the next year, otherwise it's gonna go. Okay, so first book, and I have to unhaul something. I still have not read Internment. Exactly what I said on there, basically. I did not love the other books I've read by this author, and because of that, every time I have looked to make a TBR, I have not wanted to put this book on there, and to be honest, I don't think I ever will read it. So yes, I am fine with this one self-destructing. It will be removed from my shelves, creating some more shelf room. I'm sad because the storyline actually sounded like something that could be done quite well. It could be quite thought-provoking, all of that, but I just know I don't like this author's work, so why would I put myself through it? Right, let's see what the second one is and see if I've actually read this one. The second one is also from an author that I've read before. I believe I did actually try and pick this one up once, but then I think I got like a chapter in and put it down, and that is The Haters by Jessie Andrews. So Jessie Andrews wrote Me, Earl and the Dying Girl, which I did actually really enjoy. I bought this one purely off of the back of enjoying that book, but the story of this one doesn't intrigue me as much. It's something to do with music, I believe, and yeah, it said on the back, on the bottom, a band, a road trip, a gig that maybe doesn't suck. I'm not the biggest fan of books that are set in around like music and things like that. I love Daisy Jones and the Six, but I think that's in its own sort of category. Generally I struggle with books that are about music and about bands, because without actually being able to hear the music that they're talking about, I find it really awkward, especially when there's sort of like song lyrics in there and things like that. The reason why my least favourite book of Alice Oseman is I Was Born for This. Like, there's parts of it I love, but I do just find it really hard to sort of believe in the band when you can't actually hear the music. It's a very strange thing. But anyway, I will read you the back of this one as well. It says, Corey and Wes are convinced nothing cool can come of their lame summer at jazz camp when along comes Ash, all blonde hair and brash words, who cracks their world wide open. Finally, something they can't seem to hate. Convinced that a great musician is made on the road, the three friends flee camp and begin an epic, hilarious road trip, the Haters Summer of Hate tour. Amid sneaking into seedy bars, evading their parents and the police, and spending every minute together in a makeshift tour bus, romance blossoms and bursts and hygiene takes a backseat. Wes also begins to realise the limitations of hating everything. It keeps you at a convenient distance from something or someone you just might love. I mean, yeah, it's still not necessarily appealing to me that much when I read that on the back. I mean, it kind of sets it up to be a character that just hates everything, which doesn't sound that fun to read. I'm reading less and less YA contemporary, so it has to be something particularly interesting for me to want to read it. So I don't know, I might pick this one up, I might not. If I don't, it goes. I think all of the books on this list are actually YA books, because obviously I'm going more and more away from YA, and they're all older YA books as well, so it's going to be less likely to pick them up. I have not read The Haters. I have had, again, no inclination to read it. and I'm not too fussed that I'm going to unhaul it. I think, to be honest, if I reread Me, Earl and the Dying Girl now, I don't think I'd love that one that much. I feel like maybe my sister read this one and she didn't love it, and that put me off as well. And yeah, I just honestly do not see me reading it. So another one that will be self-destructing. I swear I have actually read some of them on this list, because not all of them are still in this pile. So some of them have either been read or I've just straight up unhauled them before I got around to it. But let's see what the next one is. The next one that I have on this list is the first of a few that I picked up because they were on a buy one get one half price offer in Waterstones. That is a theme on how I buy things. Generally what it is that there's one book I'm really interested in and then another one that kind of catches my eye, and because it's on a cheaper offer I'll pick both up. And yeah, this was definitely one of those. It is The Disappearances by Emily Bain Murphy. I know nothing about this one. It caught my eye because I like the cover. It, again, like I said, was on a buy one got one half price. It is blurbed by Stephanie Garber, who wrote Caraval. I think I just read that at the time as well. So I'll just read you the synopsis. It makes probably the easiest way to do this. It says, every 7 years something disappears in the remote town of Stirling. People's reflections, the stars in the sky, the ability to dream. Isla realises that her mother may be to blame for the curse, but some mysteries are buried very deep and some secrets want to stay hidden, and one young woman's desire to uncover the truth may not be enough to save the people of Stirling from the past. It sounds interesting. It sounds a little bit sort of mysterious, a little bit spooky. It might be good to read next month. I don't know. But yeah, I'm still intrigued by it. It's still definitely something, like, when I read that synopsis, I go, oh yeah, actually I might want to read that. But I've just never actually gone, yes, I'm going to read it right now. So hopefully I will in the next year. So this one is one that, even hearing that synopsis, I am still interested in it. I've not read it. But yeah, I'm still interested. Like I said, it does sound like it'll fit for spooky season. Basically, I do not want to unhaul this. There's like 3 or 4 on here that I have not read, but I still have like strong hopes for, that I will read and I will enjoy them. And I think I would actually regret unhauling them. And there's something about this one that has just like grabbed my attention a lot. So I will tell you at the end of the video exactly what I am doing with these ones that I am not letting self-destruct at this particular moment. But this is definitely one of them, because yeah, I'm just still very, very intrigued by it. It just sounds like the sort of thing that I will enjoy. So not read, but it's not going anywhere quite this very second. But let's see what the next one was. Next up, I have one that I've definitely heard mixed opinions on, so I am very daunted to pick this one up. And again, it was on a buy one get one half price offer, that's why I bought it at the time. And that is Stags by M.A. Bennett. So this one says on the front, 9 students, 3 blood sports, 1 deadly weekend. And then on the back there is a little invitation which says, you're invited to spend Justicium at Longcross Hall, Cumberland. Coaches departing Stags at 5 p.m. Friday, RSVP. There are some invitations you just shouldn't accept. Graham MacDonald doesn't know that yet. It says it's a thriller, so I probably shouldn't know too much going into it. I am not a massive thriller reader. I have heard some bad things about this. I think it was Kayla from Books and Lala who really didn't like it. She does read a lot of adult thrillers though, then this is YA, so I know that can be a big difference anyway. But I don't know, I was intrigued by it at the time, but the longer I have it on my shelves, the less intrigued I am. So let's put it on this list, and at least if I don't read it, I can be done with it. It's done. I can stop wondering about it then, hopefully. So when I put this video up initially, this book was the one that most people said, just don't even bother. Just leave it. Just let it destruct. And yeah, I, like I said, have heard very mixed things about this one, some very, very bad things about it, and I do not have the inclination to pick it up. I do actually usually like YA thrillers. I tend to reach for YA thrillers more than I'd reach for an adult one. I think just because I don't read thrillers that much, I find YA ones a bit easier to read, but I am still fairly picky when I read them. And yeah, obviously I've not picked it up in this last year, and all of the negativity about it has made me go, actually, yeah, I don't want to read it. Also, I believe it's now part of like a bigger series, and I can't be dealing, I just can't be bothered with a series at the minute. So, I mean, I say this like I'm not reading loads of series, but this isn't a series that I want to start. So, yeah, another one that is self-destructing. I mean, the good thing is that it is clearing space on my shelves, but it's also bad that I've just never read these books, but like I said, most of them I have had for a while and I've just outgrown them. So it's fine. I swear at some point we are going to get to one that I've read. Fingers crossed it's the next one. Let's see what it is though. Next up is one that I bought because I love a certain musical, and this one just jumped out at me while I was in the store, but I don't really know why I bought it because I was never really planning on reading it that much, and that is Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz. So this is a historical fiction about Alexander Hamilton and Eliza Hamilton, or Eliza Schuyler as she was at the time, and it's literally said on the bottom, the love story that inspired Hamilton, an American musical. I am a massive musical theatre fan. If you've watched any of my videos recently, you'll know this because every vlog I've been at the theatre as much as possible. But yeah, basically this is a YA historical fiction about their romance, and it came out right as sort of Hamilton was at its peak and hype levels, and I decided to pick it up, but I've never sort of gone towards it to actually pick it up to read because I don't tend to read a lot of historical fiction. But I don't know. I don't know why I bought this, to be honest. So haven't read it. It's gone. We know the theme. We know what the video is by now. Right, so one thing, just completely off topic. I love that this video came out, like I said, last September, and I believe that was when sort of theatres and things started opening back up fully after all lockdowns and things like that. Like they've been starting to open since July, but they were all distanced, and September was when like a lot of things started reopening properly, and it's when I started going down to London a lot again. Hence why I said if you watch any of my recent videos you'll have seen me go to the theatre a lot, because I believe I'd just been on a trip where I'd seen like 3 shows in 2 days. And yeah, and clearly in these videos it was when I'd like first started talking about my love of theatre. Now you don't get away from it. Like I don't think there's a single video that goes past where I don't mention theatre in some way, but we all know that by now. We're all here for that by now. But I just like it. I have not read this book though, and I don't think I'm going to. I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily know why I bought it, because like the Alex and Eliza story isn't what makes me watch Hamilton. Like I love Hamilton so much. I'm actually going to see it again in 2 weeks. But like I like Eliza as a character. Like particularly like towards the end she really comes into her own. And I enjoy like all the stuff about Hamilton and all the politics and things like that. I don't necessarily need to read their love story. Like it's not what I'm here for. So yeah, we'll probably just unhaul this one as well. I also just don't think I feel like it's just gonna gloss over like everything. Like it can't go like too in depth, surely. Anyway, we're good. This one's gonna go. It's fine. It self-destructs. Let us now see what the next one is, and I keep saying it, we will get to one that I have actually read. The next 2, I believe, are ones that I think I got in book subscription boxes as like extra books. The first one being Viper by Bex Hogan. I can't remember what this came in, but I remember it being just like an extra copy in like a December box or something like that. This is the first one in a series, I believe. The series is called Isles of Storm and Sorrow. I do not know what this is about. The cover really intrigues me. I think that's really pretty. But it says on the back, "He will make me a killer or he will have me killed. That is my destiny. 17-year-old Marianne is fated to one day become the Viper, defender of the 12 Isles. But the reigning Viper stands in her way. Corrupt and merciless, he prowls the seas in his warship, killing with impunity, leaving only pain and suffering in his wake. He's the most dangerous man on the ocean, and he is Marianne's father. She was born to protect the islands, but can she fight for them if it means losing her family, her home, the boy she loves, and perhaps even her life?" It is a YA fantasy. I am moving more and more away from YA fantasy and more towards adult fantasy, but there is something about this that does still intrigue me. I have heard some good things about the series, I believe, and yeah, we'll see. It is also a signed copy, which also kind of makes me not want to get rid of it straight away, because I feel like that gives me a little bit more of a reason to hang on to it. But we'll see if I read this one as well. Okay, I haven't read this one, but this is like the one from earlier on. This is going in a different pile because I still have every intention to read this. I have heard good things about this. When I put this video up, I believe Where's Dags was the one that people told me not to read. This was the one that people told me to read, so I do still want to read it. Again, I just keep putting it off. The other thing as well is that I believe this one would be good for like readathon prompts, because there's always ones that are like things set at sea, and this one is, and then like I only have like 2 books that actually fit that category that's on my like TBR, so I should just keep it for that. But yeah, I am intrigued by this one still, so we're going to put this one in the separate pile. And yeah, again, I keep saying it, but we are going to get to ones I've read soon, because I'm running out of the ones that I haven't read that are at the side of me that you keep seeing me reach down to grab. So fingers crossed we'll get to some of those ones momentarily. I feel like the next one should be, because I can't remember the other one from a subscription box. I've not got it at the side of me, so it's got to be something I've read or just already unhauled. Let's see which. The other one I got in either an Illumicrate or a Fairy Loot box, and that one actually is an ARC, and it is The Stormcrow by Kaylin Josephson. Oh, it says actually at the bottom printed for Fairy Loot, so it was in a Fairy Loot box. But it says on the back, Eragon meets Andai Darkin in this thrilling new fantasy debut that follows a fallen princess as she ignites a rebellion to bring back the magical elemental crows that were taken from her people. In the tropical kingdom of Rodair, elemental crows are part of every aspect of life until the Eleusinian Empire invades, destroying everything. That terrible night has thrown Princess Anthea into a deep depression. Her sister Khaleesa is busy running the kingdom after their mother's death, but all Thea can do is think of everything she has lost. When Khaleesa is forced to agree to a marriage between Thea and the Crown Prince of Eleusia, Thea is finally spurred into action, and after stumbling upon a hidden crow egg in the rubble of a rookery, the sisters devise a dangerous plan to hatch the egg in secret and win back what was taken from them. That was very difficult for me to read for some reason, and this is not one that is particularly grabbing my attention when I'm reading the synopsis, but we'll see. If this is another one that I sort of held on to because it was from a book subscription box. It's also an ARC, and I never really know what to do with those if I'm not wanting them. So yeah, we'll see. That's the whole point of this video. We will see. So the funny thing about this is that the one that I was least interested in when I'm reading the synopsis in this video is the first one I've actually read. By the way, the struggle to read out that synopsis. Basically, I read this one earlier this year. Not by choice, actually. It was because Jem, I believe, put it on my TBR. I did TBR mash, where I let my friends pick books for me to read. They had to pick one that I thought I would love and one that they just wanted me to read anyway. Jem ended up picking 3, and I can't remember which one that was for. I think it was for the just one she wanted me to read, and it came up the first month I did it, I believe, and I did read it, and I did enjoy it. Actually, I could go and grab it because it's still on my shelves. I think I gave it like 4 stars, maybe, like a lower end 4 stars. It was a good book. It wasn't like a new all-time favourite or anything, but it was definitely an enjoyable read. It had some very good representation of mental health that you don't always see in fantasy books, like seeing someone actually upset when a close family member has died, because you know in fantasies it's always someone's parent or sibling gets killed off, and it gives them like the meaning, and it gives them like the purpose to go on and do whatever fantasy fight thing they need to do. Like in this, like no, the main character was just straight up depressed, and I'm like, that's an actual realistic reaction to this. Well done. And yeah, I did actually really enjoy it, enough so that I do plan on carrying on with the sequel. I just haven't got around to it yet. But you know, we've got one success. Like we've got quite a lot of successes actually. We've got some that I've gone, actually no, you need to unhaul these, and I've got some now that I've gone, oh actually I wouldn't have read that without this. Well, actually, I wouldn't have read it without Jem telling me to read it, but it still worked. It still worked. Right, let's see what the next one is, shall we? One is another sort of thriller mystery, I believe, which is not my usual type of book to read, so it's probably why I've never picked this one up. But that is A Danger to Herself and Others by Alyssa Scheinmel, I believe that is said. I'm not sure. But it says on the back, 17-year-old Hannah Gold has always been treated like a grown-up. As the only child of 2 New York professionals, she's been functioning as a miniature adult since the day she was born. But that was then. Now Hannah has been checked into a remote treatment facility, stripped of all autonomy and confined to a single room. Hannah knows there has been a mistake. What happened to her roommate that summer was an accident. As soon as the doctor and judge figure out that she isn't a danger to herself and others, she can get back to her life of promise and start her final year at school. Until then, she's determined to win over the staff and earn some privileges so she doesn't doesn't lose her mind to boredom. But then she's assigned a new roommate. At first, Lucy is the perfect project to keep Hannah's focus off all she is missing at home, but Lucy may be the one who can make Hannah confront the secrets she's been avoiding and the dangerous games that landed her in confinement in the first place. It sounds interesting. That one still intrigues me when I read the back of it. That's probably why I picked it up in the first place. I can tell it was on a buy one get one half price offer because I can see the remnants of the sticker, because it's one of those like sort of almost like waxy covers that just keeps hold of any mark to it, which is very irritating, but that's a whole other subject. And yeah, now I've read that synopsis, I'm interested in it again, so I might pick it up sooner rather than later. I'm trying to read more sort of like thriller or spooky books during the next month for October, so maybe this one is one that can go on that TBR. Okay, so I did actually read that one. I cannot hold it up for you because I have unhauled it. I didn't love it. It was fine. Like, it was very predictable and just it was fine. There was some like not great mental health representation in it from what I remember. I forgot a lot of it already, which is not great. I read it obviously at some point in the last year. I think I ended up picking it up for a readathon or something. But yeah, I read it, didn't love it. I unhauled it without waiting for this video to tell me to unhaul it. So still getting rid of it, but just in a different way. It's probably already been in an unhaul video. Maybe, possibly, but it's gone. Anyway, it's definitely out of the house now. Let's see what the next one is. We have two more. We are nearly there. The next one is A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. I definitely bought this one because of the cover, because yeah, that is beautiful. This one says, when Lou steals inside the Grand Cardew house in the dreamy summer of 1929, she's drawn into the lives of the Cardew siblings, glittering whirlwind Caitlin and handsome enigmatic Robert. But as Lou is swept into their dazzling world of moonlit parties, unrivaled glamour and whispered secrets, can she stay true to herself and her heart? Now, I don't read a lot of historical fiction, but I do really like sort of the 20s as an era, so I may want to read this one. I think again that is part of the reason why I picked it up, because I do like that sort of 20s era. I like the sort of aesthetic of it as well, so this sort of like art deco golden cover really grabbed my attention, and yes, we'll see if I pick this one up. Okay, this is the third and final of the books I have not read, but I still don't want to get rid of yet. So yeah, I haven't read this one. The cover's really shiny because I've got nice lights compared to when I filmed this video. But yeah, I don't want to get rid of this. I said then that I don't read a lot of historical fiction. I'm definitely reading more and more of it these days. But this one still intrigues me. I do love that sort of 1920s storyline. One of my favourite classics is Great Gatsby, and it's the vibes I'm getting from the cover of this. And yeah, I'm still very interested in it. I don't want to unhaul it. I still need something to kind of spur me on to read it. The problem is with these is I put them on my TBR cart, but I put them like right on the bottom, so I was sort of looking at them but not looking at them every time I needed to pick a TBR, and then I'd just forget to actually put these on. So what I'm going to do, I might as well explain now actually, because like I said, it's the last of the three. So I've got these 3 books, and my plan is I'm going to give myself to the end of the year. So we've got obviously October, November and December left. I'm going to put one of these on each of the TBRs for the end of the year, and if I don't end up reading them, then I will get rid of them. I'm taking inspiration from Becca Fowle here, because I believe that's what she ended up doing with her self-destruct ones last year. She gave herself a bit of an extension. So yeah, I'm going to give myself until the end of December. So I will just say now, I'm probably going to do these as like extras to my TBR Mash TBR, just to make sure that I definitely do put them on there. So what I'll probably say now is that this one will be getting read in October, because like I said, it feels like it fits more spooky season. I'll probably then pick up Viper in November and then Sky Painted Gold in December, because Gilded Age feels like it fits more the festive season. That's how my mind's working. So we're going to read them in this order, and they will get read hopefully for the end of this year. If not, then they will get self-destructed. But for now, let's just see the last book, which I can already tell you I have not read, because I have it at the side of me ready to tell you what happened with this book. So let's just press play. And then the last book on here is one that I've definitely owned for a few years now, because I remember getting this one pretty much as it came out, which was apparently in 2017. So yeah, it's been about 4 years. And that one is Goodbye Days by Jeff Zettner. So this one is blurbed by a lot of these sort of YA contemporary big names. It's blurbed by Nicola Yoon on the front. It's got Becky Albertalli on the back. I believe it was also sort of compared to if you let John Green read this one. So that was definitely the reason why I picked it up. Again, on a buy one get one half price offer. But I will read you the back of this one. It says, can a text message destroy your life? As Carver waits for his best friends, Mars, Eli and Blake to drive over and pick him up, he sends a text message that changes everything. The next thing he learns is that their car has crashed and all 3 of his friends are dead. Carver blames himself. Worse, there could be a criminal investigation into the accident. Then Blake's grandmother asks Carver to remember her grandson with a goodbye day together, doing all the things Blake loved. Soon the other grieving families want memorial days too, but not everyone is willing to forgive, and Carver's own despair threatens to pull him under. Will the goodbye days really help? It's one of those sort of YA contemporaries that is designed to kind of try and make you cry, I believe. It was a similar sort of time that Fault in Our Stars and all those ones that were just designed to make you cry, and I think that is why I bought it, because I was reading those ones at the time. It is not necessarily the type of thing that I read now, so it needs to either get read or get gone, which is the general theme of this entire video. And yes, that is actually all of the books that will So I have not read that one, like I said. I honestly don't think I will read this one. I said I'm moving more and more away from YA contemporaries, and the ones that I do read, I'm pickier with them now. And I'm not saying that I won't read the ones that are like designed to tug on your heartstrings. Like one of my most anticipated books coming up later on this year is First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which is definitely one that's designed to make you cry, if the first book in that series is anything to go by. But this one just feels like not something I want to read. So yeah, this one will be going as well. So basically we're gonna, I don't think I said anything else of any interest in the rest of that video. So basically what we've got here is I had 10 books total. I read 2 of them, which is not a good ratio whatsoever. I unhauled one of them because I didn't love it. I'm keeping another one and I will be carrying on with the series. I have 3 that I'm gonna just give myself a little bit longer, and I have 5 books that are self-destructing today. So, you know, if I can read those 3 before the end of the year, we're at a nice half and half. But yeah, hopefully next year's self-destruct is going to go a little bit better, because I have gone through and, like I said, and already picked out 10 more books that will be my self-destruct ones for the next year, and I am going to try and make more of an effort to actually get them on my TBR for this upcoming year's worth. So obviously, because I've got the 3 that I'm planning on reading for the end of the year, what will probably happen then is that from January I'm going to try and make sure I put one on there every single month, and then if there's one that I'm just putting off more and more every month, I'll know that maybe that's just one that does need to self-destruct. But if you would like to know what the other 10 books are that I'm going to be trying to read in the next year, then come back next week when I will have that video for you. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Let me know if you think I've made a very bad decision in unhauling any of these books, because they probably will still be in the house, so I could still be persuaded, but I really shouldn't. Right, I'm gonna go, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye.